What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage here. This is episode 35 of Snacking and Hanging, the official Loading Snacks podcast. Not that there's an unofficial one, but I mean,
But before they pop up, we just letting y'all know.
yeah, it feels more official if you say
if you declare that it's
official.
official.
Um, we got a few things on the docket. The usual suspects are in the house, on the line, on the cast, in the pod. However that works.
Right.
Sin,
What's going on, baby? I'm here. Let's go.
new Joker.
Yes, sir. What it do?
It do a lot of things. We got a lot to discuss. There's a lot happening right now. Seems like it's kind of slow and quiet, but it's never slow and quiet for real in the geek world. There's always something happening. So,
Ain't that the truth?
it is the truth. Church, brother. Church.
Yes, it is.
So, having said that, without any further, let's do Sin.
Yeah.
Sin, you have a specific topic for this show. What you got on the docket, bro?
I don't know, just something that just been right on my head this week. Just want to throw it out there at you two fine individuals and just see how, see where it sticks, see where it lands with you.
Hey, try to butter us up. See how we became fine individuals, though. New Joker.
Wow, so you aren't fine individuals. Okay, I'll remember that next time.
Nah, we are. You just don't ever say it.
Oh, okay. Well, with that being said, this Pokemon Generations show on YouTube, I believe the first episode dropped this week. Am I right, New Joker? I know you know.
Mm-hmm. You actually got the first two episodes of it.
Okay, so this thing came out this week, and it's on YouTube, on the actual Pokemon channel. It's an actual official Pokemon show. Like, I guess it's tied into the timeline, everything. And in the process of, seeing this and I haven't watched it, but looking at the article, I found out there's a Transformer show as well, Transformer Combiner Wars, that's licensed by Hasbro, and it's on Machinima, being done by them. And it's more of an adult one. And not too long ago, we had the Vixen show on the CW online on their website.
CWC.
All these shows you can only get at those places, nowhere else. The question is, how do y'all feel about what it seems to be a new trend starting as far as licensed stuff going strictly online in all these different places? I mean, do we like it? Do we prefer it just being like either on TV or on the big sites like, Hulu, Netflix, and so forth and so forth? I mean...
I don't mind it at all, really. Now, let's take the Pokemon one, for example. Now, when they originally announced it, I thought it was going to be like, an actual, like, a series with, like, 20 or 30-minute episodes that were going to be shown. But these things are actually only, like, 3 and 4 minutes long. Right. So, being on, like, YouTube, I think, would be perfect for that. Or, like, right on their website. I don't know if necessarily Hulu or Netflix would pick it up just for those couple of minutes on there. Don't get me wrong. It'd be very convenient to just be able to go to Hulu, pull it up, and watch it right on there. But, like, seeing this, that you have things like, Pokemon, they want to just, it seems like they just want to keep it to where you're going to come right to their websites where you're going to see everything at, which I don't mind it at all. Just one little extra step that you have to go through. But nothing too major on that, though.
I just think it makes sense. It's the natural progression of the way things are moving. I mean, it's kind of no different from shows being exclusively on Netflix or on Hulu. If you want to see Daredevil or if you want to watch Luke Cage at the end of this month, you better have Netflix. You better have a Netflix subscription. At least in these cases, they're not in a place where you need a subscription. Yeah, you need internet, but you also got to remember, Sin, you're a cord cutter, right? So if these shows were shows that came on TV, then what, right? So, there's a way to reach an audience that still allows you via advertising, forced advertising that's, runs in front of these episodes that, you can still make money off of them, and it's probably not as expensive as doing something like that and trying to put it on TV. So, I mean, I guess it works. It's they're quick little bites. They're easy to watch. I mean, it's not full shows. I don't know if this Transformers show is a
No,
full show, but
I just checked that up.
I'm
It's about the same length as the other
yeah,
ones.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
about
sure they're just
short ones.
shorts. I
Yeah.
mean, the Vixen show they were 6 minute episodes. They essentially stretched over the course of like 5 or 6 weeks a
Right.
regular 30-minute episode. You know what I mean? It was literally like
Mhm.
5 or 6 6 minute episodes that 30 seconds of that 6 minutes was credits. You know what I mean? Like, I at the same time, CW said that they made a mistake with Vixen, and that the mistake that they
Really?
made that they would correct when they did the second season is that after they put it online, they will certainly also air it, on TV so that people can get
Okay.
it because they missed a piece of the market by it being something that so many people didn't know about. And I guess for them it's a little bit different because they did take the same lady who did the voice
Did the
acting
voice right?
for the show and put her in the live action show, and it does actually take place within the Flash and Arrow
Mm-hmm.
verse. So it makes sense to kind of say, all right, well, we do need to kind of push this and put it out for people to see and help make it a little bit more official. But I mean, I think if not for little shorts like this as kind of a test market to see if there's interest
Hmm.
in a bigger show, maybe we don't ever get anything else Transformers. You know what I'm saying? And or maybe we don't get any more I mean, I guess we'll always have some kind of Pokemon, but you know what I mean? Like maybe
Yeah.
it's just a really good way to kind of test the waters and see if it's worth it to put time and or effort into something bigger, even if it's just, I guess to an extent, it's kind of like the idea of them doing something that goes straight to video. Something used to go straight to DVD or straight to VHS, and now they just go straight to internet. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and I guess it makes it so they can, yeah, again, they can keep monetizing it. So I mean, it doesn't bother me. I get what you're saying, like that you didn't know about the Transformers thing.
Yeah,
So
like I feel like they're just easy to be missed. Like especially if you're a fan of these the show, whatever they're doing, whether it's Transformers or Pokemon or whatever. Like if you don't catch the ad or you're not following Machinima, you know what I mean?
yeah,
You
I
don't
mean,
know
I
about it.
guess I guess you're right. I think though, what's funny about that is at the same time, I mean, you have people who like look at The Walking Dead, right? So many people watch The Walking Dead. It's a huge thing every week. People, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? But there are people who completely missed the first season or the second season, and the only way they caught up or got to what was going on was they caught it on Netflix. You know what I mean? And they binged it,
Hmm.
or something like that. Like there are plenty of shows that actually I think are on quote unquote regular TV that I think people miss, maybe because they work or because they don't DVR or because they just don't
It's just
watch
not on
those.
their radar
Yeah, they
yet.
just don't watch those
True.
channels or whatever. Like I've had plenty of conversations with somebody where I bring up something that I feel like is, everybody should know about this, and then it's like, wait a minute, you never heard of such and such, you know what I
Oh
mean, or
no,
something like that.
we do it all the time with each other. You
Yeah.
put me on the what's the DC joint that I watch all the time when you come over there and record? Good lord.
Oh, Teen Titans
The-
Go.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but
You
again,
put me onto that.
But again, you a cord cutter. You don't have Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? So it comes on
Correct.
Cartoon Network. And you probably would have done the same thing I initially did with a show like that. Like, this is not what Teen Titans is supposed to be. Why are they trying to
And
make
I
this
did
funny?
when they
Why
first
they,
That's
announced it. I
exactly
did.
that's exactly how I felt
I
about
didn't
it.
I
want
did.
anything to do with Teen Titans Go, and I just got stuck watching it one day, and next thing I knew, I was in tears, bro. That joint is funny. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to like it, but I like it. So, I don't know. I don't have anything against it, so to speak. I mean, maybe they could do a better job of trying to find ways to advertise it, but I don't know. I
Right.
mean, there's so much stuff online now. There's so much happening, but Again, it also makes it really, really easy for you to just sit in a room with your phone, probably while you're not on a break at work, and watch a 2 minute episode or something, no differently
Mm-hmm.
than the way you would consume something on YouTube normally anyway. So I actually kind of think it's smart to start saying, all right, well, this is a continuous thing that technically is one whole show, but you can watch it in a 3 minute chunk and not feel like you have to stop in the middle of it or something like that. It's just easier to consume.
Right.
um, it might actually be a good idea. And then if you want to binge it, it's probably all right there for you. So, you know, I don't have anything against it at all. I mean, it took me
Well,
years to catch up to shoot. Now I can't think of whatchamacallit with Sheldon and Sheldon Cooper.
oh, Big
Yeah,
Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. I ain't catch on to that until it was like 4 years in.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was about 4 years in when I got onto
Right,
it. Yeah.
and I'm not a cord cutter. You know what I mean? It's just that the time of day that regularly, I still don't watch it. You know what I mean? Like, I catch reruns every now and again. I have them, on Blu-ray and stuff like that. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I still don't actually watch the show regularly, even though I actually like the show. So I just don't have time. There's just so much else going on, and the time that it comes on just isn't convenient for me. The day of the week or the time just doesn't line up for me. So, there are certain shows. There's very little on regular TV that I actually make time to watch. That would be Agents of Shield.
Mm-hmm.
I makes time for Agents of Shield. And like I would make time for MythBusters. Doesn't come on anymore. So, there's very little that I just kind of catch
God, I
stuff.
remember those days.
So,
Mm.
mm,
All right. Cool. Well, that's all that I wanted to know on the matter, and thank
Yeah.
y'all with that.
I dig it.
That was it. Just felt like feel like people are missing out on probably some real good stuff. That's all.
They probably
Like I said,
are.
Didn't know about certain stuff.
Hopefully, they're relying on folks like us to let them know they missed something.
To spread the word, right?
Hope so.
Yeah. New Joker. Before
Yes,
anybody
sir.
misses this, what's happening on Tuesday? It'll be yesterday by the time you can hear this. It'll have already passed, but there is something major brewing.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So on Tuesday, Destiny Rise of Honor drops.
Iron?
Rise from Iron.
Rise of Iron?
Rise of Iron. That is what I said, isn't it?
No,
You said
not at all.
Honor.
You said Rise of Honor. But
I
that's
said
cool.
Honor
Yeah,
You
you
said
got
Honor.
because I'm
you got-
thinking of something
Yeah.
else too at the same
Yeah.
time. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, you got For Honor on the brain, and I understand why. We'll get to that.
Yeah, it's crack. But
Uh-huh.
Rise of Iron
Yeah,
drops on Tuesday.
yeah.
So, just a little pre-preparation for some people in case you haven't downloaded it just yet. So, of course, we're gonna get a lot of new stuff, and with a lot of new stuff means it's gonna take up a little bit of storage space, just a little bit, ever so slightly on there.
Just a tad.
But according to Bungie and Destiny, you're gonna need a minimum of 60 gigs available to do this download.
That's a lot of gigabytes.
So I would suggest if there's a couple of games that you haven't played or haven't used in a while, you may want to go ahead and erase those off.
I have to ask this. Are you positive
Mm-hmm.
that can't just be like if you already have Destiny? There's no way Rise of Iron is 60 gigs. That has to be for the full.
Because that's a full.
Yeah, 'cause-
that's a very
because,
big
like,
game for
Now,
30
probably
the
what
full
I'm
game
guessing-
of the original Destiny was only like 45 gigs or something like that. Like
Now,
which isn't
probably
small.
what I'm guessing is for the people that buy the, I guess they're going to call, I don't know if they're necessarily going to call it the complete collection as
Yeah.
of just yet, but there is the one that has the whole DLC package with it all together, with it in there. So I'm maybe thinking that's where the 60 gigabytes
It
comes into
has
play
to
at?
be. It has to be the collection because it has Vanilla Destiny with the Taken King, with the 2 DLCs that came before Taken King came out,
Mhm.
and it has the Rise of Iron. Like that has to be. There's no way for $30 Rise of Iron is 60 gigs. I just don't. It can't be. Can't be.
So, well, either way, one way or the other, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure because there are some people out there I know that will just jump into Destiny for the first time and pick up the collection.
Yeah.
And they're going to need that space to do it.
Yeah, I'm looking into it right now. But yes, you're right.
Pretty
Me
sure
too.
it's only
Me
going to be
too.
like 14 gigs.
Me too.
I'm pretty sure it's only 14 gigs.
Yeah, it can't. I would have the most
But-
issues. The most issues.
But of course, alongside that, I mean, a lot of new content that we're going to get with it. Of course, if you pre-order it, you're going to get that Iron Gallahorn. I'm really excited for that.
Mhm. Well, it'll be too late to pre-order it by the time you hear this, ladies and gentlemen. So if you didn't, you don't have one. However,
Your
I will have mine.
that's pretty trifling. We definitely will be updating with full impressions of the Rise of Iron next week. There's no two ways about that.
Most definitely. New modes, weapons, new raid, light level increase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my pre-order is in. I'm pulling it up now just to look and see what size it is. Bruh.
Pretty sure it'll be about 14.
Not even. Like, literally, I mean, maybe it's just because it hasn't hit. The pre-order literally says 10 megabytes.
No, that's
That
Yeah, that's-
can't be right.
No,
So,
no.
But it says it's installed. 10 megabytes.
Remember they did that massive update the
Yeah.
other day. So that was probably like the bulk.
Could have been a piece of that as well,
That's,
too.
Yeah.
that's each. That's 10 megabytes for the Rise of Iron and 10 megabytes for the Iron Gallahorn and the Iron Sparrow. So, something ain't right with that, buddy. Speaking of pre-orders, because we're on it, and yeah, we're going to keep talking Rise of Iron, but Forza Horizon 3. That's all. Play the demo.
Can't wait.
You'll know what to do after you do that. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't need to. I played the last one. I loved it, and I can't wait for the next one.
Listen. Play
Look,
it anyway.
look, there's no point of me playing the demo. There's no point.
I'm going to put it to you this way.
No point.
I started. Let me.
There's no point for
I
me.
started playing the demo, right? I had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop playing the demo. It was too much. It was too much. I couldn't do it anymore. I was just teasing myself. I'm not doing that anymore.
I hear you, and I understand. Let's just say I just need to wait for the game.
Yep.
Because by the time I get around to the demo, I will have the game. So
Dig it. I can dig it.
So just
Fair enough. All right. So, what else do we need to know about Rise of Iron? What are they raising the cap to?
So
Yeah,
I
what
know
are they
with
raising
the normal rate, when it comes out, you'll be able to get, it's like 385 you're going to be able to get
Yeah.
to. And then by the
Wow.
time the hard rate drops out,
400.
looks like that 400
Yeah.
is definitely in sights.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, I'm not ready. And I don't have time to get ready. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm
Actually,
gonna keep it
I'm
1,000.
gonna tell you what you could to right now. If you play it, you can collect viruses that give you an experience boost. There's 5 different ones that you can get. They look like little beehives around your head,
Yeah.
and they I don't know if the game comes out, they'll disappear eventually, but right now they just stay there, and they stack as an experience boost.
Yeah, I saw that. And, like, they look like little fireflies and stuff floating
Yeah.
around your head and all that kind
Yeah,
of
I
stuff.
got 2 of them on my character right now.
Yeah, I'm not. I probably ain't. It's just not gonna happen. I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, until that actually comes out, like, I'm busy
Hey,
right
I
now.
just ran Run
Yeah,
Crucible.
I'm
and
good
I
on
got 2 of them.
PlayStation, but I got to finish getting that Xbox. I may play it a little bit before Tuesday, but
Mhm.
I'm good on PlayStation now.
It's cool. When you're ready to run on the box, let me know. We'll jump in.
We can still run. I get my little exclusive stuff, at least for now, that I'll get only on the PlayStation.
Yeah, man. I mean, definitely the go. So, hey, did you guys, just since we're kind of on the subject of some of these games, did you guys hear about Titanfall 2 not being included with EA Access? Did you guys hear about that?
No.
I didn't.
Yeah, so, you know how EA Access, you pay the yearly fee for EA Access, it's like $35. I mean, you can pay monthly, but that's just dumb.
Monthly if you want to.
Yeah, it's like $5 a month. That doesn't even make sense compared to just paying once for the whole year, $35. But basically, you know, you get 10% off when you purchase the game. You get like early access to the game. So games always drop on Tuesday. Pretty much always drop on Tuesday. You can start playing on Friday. You know, you get like 5 days early access, so you can play through the weekend. And like you get, even if you don't buy the game, you get like 10 hours. You know what I mean, to play. And then they begin to add games to the vault, and you can play. You know, then you can play the games for free that are in the vault, even if you haven't purchased them, as long as you're a member of EA Access. So,
Mm-hmm.
Titanfall 2 is like the first game released that is published by EA that is not going to be a part of the vault. And people were kind of, up in arms a little bit about it. There were some people who were kind of under the impression that like this has something to do with Sony because Sony doesn't have EA Access. EA Access is exclusive to the Xbox One, and that now that Titanfall 2 is going to be on both platforms instead of being on, being exclusive to the Xbox platform and PC. People thought it had something to do with that. Turns out it doesn't. Um, Respawn Entertainment, who are the developers behind Titanfall, published by EA, but developed just like BioWare publishes Dragon Age, but it's published by EA. So apparently, the developers have the option to opt out of being included in EA Access, and Respawn chose not to be included. Doesn't mean it will never be included, but unlike everything else that's come out, like Star Wars, all that kind of stuff, like everything else is in EA Access, Respawn has chosen not to include Titanfall 2 in EA Access. So,
Wow.
yeah. Personally, I think that's a mistake. Um, and I say that because EA Access is a way for people who might be on the fence about Titanfall and Titanfall. You gotta remember, Titanfall 2, this is kind of crazy. It's being published by EA, right? Titanfall 2, Call of Duty, and Battlefield 1 are all a week apart from each other. Like in a 3 week span,
Right.
all three of these first person shooters come out, right? Clearly, Titanfall and Call of Duty are kind of along the same lines. The people who made the original Call of Duty 2 and what have you are the ones who created Respawn and make Titanfall. However, it is really strange for EA as a publisher to put out Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2, both their games, a week apart from each other. Granted, they're different styles of game. We're talking World War One and some kind of space odyssey, you know what I mean, with giant mechs. Still, they're both shooters. People only have but so much money to spend, and I almost feel like EA is just like throwing kind of both of those out there to the wolves as like, well, we got two games, and trying to use the combination of those two games to combat Call of Duty.
Good
Combat
luck with
Activision
that.
Call of Duty. And I'm just saying, like, which is like why having Rise of Iron come out like now versus waiting until later. Their Destiny shooter, which is also Activision, is out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how you slice it, Destiny and Call of Duty do compete with each other. They're both Activision. They're both shooters. Yes, they're in different worlds. They're different game types, but there are certainly people who like to play both. You know what I mean? Mechanically, they're both great shooters. Yes, they're different developers. I mean, you have Bungie, but it's still under Activision as far as that's concerned. So it's just kind of strange that they're doing that. And to me, an advantage that Titanfall 2 would have, especially since Battlefield 1 will be available through EA Access, is people would have the opportunity to get in and try, play the campaign, see if it's, you know what I mean, see if like it's worth it, jump into the multiplayer, see if they feel like it's worth it for them to spend their money on it when there's this other stuff that's out there they won't have the opportunity to do that with the exception of Battlefield. You know what I mean? Like it just could really be the difference between whether somebody decides to spend that money on Titanfall 2 or not. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
So the only reason why I can think that they oppose this is that the campaign is really short. If EA gives you 10 hours of access to this basically for free, if I can jump in and play the entire campaign within the 10-hour time period that they give me, and then there's no reason for me to ever buy the game because I played through the entire campaign, I never will. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's really the only reason why. That's the only reason why I want Titanfall 2. I really don't care about the multiplayer. I want to play the story.
Yeah, I know me. I'm gonna play the multiplayer a little bit, but yes, this time around I want the single player thing. Like I want to know more about the story and what's going on. But I fully believe that thing gonna be short.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I really
fully
think
believe it's gonna be short.
I don't think it's going to be a long drawn out campaign. Like a lot of people are excited. Like these are the same people who did what is considered by most people to be the best campaign done in a Call of Duty game, which was Modern Warfare 1
Mm-hmm.
with the ghillie suit and the
Mm-hmm.
sniping and all that. Like
Classic, right?
this is that same team. So as far as the writers and so forth of the story, so people are excited about it. I really feel like either they don't have a lot of faith in the story, that's not where they put their money, or it just happens to be really, really short. And if you give people access to it over a 10-hour period, they're going to be able to beat it, and there won't be any reason for them to buy it.
Buy the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, right now, I'm planning to buy Titanfall 2. I was hoping to get that 10% discount, but whatever. It's $6. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go crazy over it, but I'm just saying, like, I was planning to buy Titanfall 2. But just thinking about it the way I think about it, now I'm kind of like, I need to wait, see what these reviews are talking about anyway,
Exactly.
to see how long the campaign is and see if the campaign is good. I was ready to pre-order it and just be like, well, I know I'm going to get it and play through it.
And
but
kind of like you were saying, with the midst of all this other stuff that's dropping around the same time,
yeah,
you have to decide where you want to put your $60 in.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt at all. Cause
And if it's going to be a short campaign, but that's all you care about,
yeah,
you have to wait till that price come down before.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize I'm kind of wasting my $60 because I'm not really going to. I know I'm gonna play a little bit of the multiplayer, but I'm not gonna get into it. You know what I mean? Like if it's got some decent stuff where you can run with bots or something like that, and we can jump in and co-op, then I'm all for it. But to be real with you, I mean, I know it's not coming out this holiday, but this freaking For Honor, let's just jump into that. Let's just do it.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to y'all about this.
Yeah, please talk to me about it.
Let me talk to both of y'all about this because we had issues, y'all know. I wasn't able to get in, but I know y'all did.
Yeah.
So first question I have for both of y'all. How did you enjoy it?
How did we enjoy it? You heard us enjoy it.
Did you?
Yes,
no, for the people.
Did.
Did you enjoy the alpha? Did you enjoy the alpha?
Yeah,
for the people?
you heard us enjoying it. Don't try to. You heard us enjoying it.
And look, I'm just asking a question for the people. That's it. I know y'all enjoyed it, but I'm just asking.
Let me tell you something, people.
And this is just an alpha. Everybody understand that. This is just an alpha, not even a beta.
Bruh. I mean, look. The game definitely could use... Again, it's alpha. So, it definitely could use a little bit more in terms of just, like... There's stuff to do, but there's not a whole lot to do. But again, it's the alpha. So I'm sure there's plenty more coming. The game's not supposed to release until, I think, February.
Okay, so here's a question.
February.
In the alpha, what did they give you access to?
More or less, it's like a multiplayer kind of scenario where you can either you can do bots, of course, or you can still get online and play certain modes versus other people. So you have duel is one mode.
Yep. And what's duel?
Brawl, I believe, was the second mode.
Duel is basically a one-on-one. Like it's
one-on-one.
Yeah, pick a character. You have different factions, I guess we'll call them. Samurais, knights, Vikings, stuff like that. And you basically, it's just a duel is straight up a one-on-one, either you versus the computer or you versus another player online.
All right, so exactly how it sounds, like it's a straight up duel.
Yep.
Okay. And what was the other one you were saying, New Joke? I'm sorry, the other mode you got to play?
Brawl was the second one, which literally it's the same as duel, but in this one it's 2-on-2.
Yes, it is.
That's really and of course, you playing 2-on-2. As soon as if you take down one of your opponents, you pretty much just go on over and gang up on the other person.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Doesn't always work. Good Lord, sir.
I take it there's some stories involved in that.
Hey, you heard the story, sir. You heard the story.
I heard the mayhem.
Listen, there's plenty. Ladies and gentlemen, all you need to do is follow M_T_SHELLZ on Xbox. I definitely recorded and posted some video of New Joker and I. He was live streaming. But again, I love co-op. And yes, you can jump in and you can do brawls 2-on-2 against other people, but we were just in there playing against the AI. And the AI is a little smart / cheesy, maybe.
Okay.
But I'll put it to you this way. the different character, it does actually remind me. You'll appreciate this. And it does remind me a bit of Bushido Blade, in terms
Mm.
of how each like character type, even within the same group. So again, you have Vikings, but all the characters aren't the same within Vikings or within the
Okay,
samurais.
see,
So
I didn't get that from like the Ubisoft conferences and stuff like that. Okay, so
yeah, I
there's
mean,
different Vikings, different samurais within that
yeah, it's
class.
like there's different type of soldiers that have different abilities, different finishers. They fight differently.
Ah,
So you have the samurai. The samurai doesn't have a shield; he just has a katana, or she. Because
right.
any one of the characters can be male or female. You just have a katana, but and you fight differently than other characters, and you have combos and things like that you can do. The combat system is really smart. I like the way the combat system works in terms of like basically you have three different stances: a left stance, a right
Hmm.
stance, and a up stance.
Forward stance, I guess you
Yeah,
want to
Oh,
call it.
that's so Bushido Blade. Oh,
right, exactly. And basically, if you get attacked on your right side, then you need to be in a right stance in order to block that. But you can do combos that go right and left and middle or something like that. And you just have to be prepared
hmm
to try to block, those things. You have characters that have a shield, so there's a character that has a shield and a sword, straight up, knight, but there's a character that has a shield and a mace. And that mace hits hard, bruh. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like so they fight differently, they attack differently, their timing and patterns are different from
right.
one another. And like there's one character that doesn't have a shield at all, just has two axes. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
That you know looks kind of Native American. I guess it's a Viking character, but
hmm
it's just really fast and comes at you really hard and whatever, and can defend, but just you have to fight that character differently than you would fight a character with a broadsword
Right.
that also has a shield. So it's really interesting the way you can block and retaliate, the way you can parry. You can shoulder charge characters. There's a big like axe carrying character that New Joker got really good with. It's like a long axe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like a heavy axe, like it's almost like a hammer and an axe together. But he didn't realize it when I started playing with the character. Actually, the first time I played against that character, there's kind of like a charge you can run, and you can kind of like double tap the X button, or I guess the square button, and you can do kind of like a block break to try to if they're blocking all your stuff, you can kind of do that to kind of knock their guard up, and
hmm
it gives you a second to attack them. And you can follow that up with a second one that's technically considered like a throw, but it's different for different characters. Some characters just give you like an additional shove that makes you kind of dizzy. This character in particular literally picks you up and like runs with you over their shoulder and like slams you to the ground, kind of thing. Like it's,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like there's just they all have different ways of fighting. So it's yeah. I mean the game is involved and it's cool, and you only had access to like 6 characters total
Right.
within the 3 factions. So six overall. What's the last mode, New Joker?
God, I forgot what it was called.
Conquest. I think
Domination.
I
Conquest.
think it's Conquest. And that's cool. Conquest is kind of like, you're basically fighting for. You have an A, a B, and a C area on the map, and you're basically fighting for control over those areas. So it's kind of like King of the Hill. You run to that area,
Okay.
try to take over the area. If another character who's like you comes in, you end up fighting, trying to take control of the area or maintain control of the area. But there are also like smaller soldier bots that you can just run through and stab and kill and whatever, and you basically
hmm
gain points. You know what I mean, for killing them, for executing them, for
hmm
maintaining or holding your position, or trying to hold all three, stuff like that. And the first team to fill their bar and get
Dominion.
all the points.
I
Yeah,
just
that's
got
it.
it. It's
Dominion.
Dominion.
Win. So that is actually a 4v4. So you can do four people
Okay.
co-op against a computer, or you can do four, 8, players or whatever, and then you have computer controlled bots or whatever. And that was pretty dope. We jumped in and played a little bit of that too, with a couple other people. We played against AI, but New Joker and I with 2 other people online jumped in and played a little bit of that, which is why I was really hoping that you and Coop were going to be able to get in so the four of us could squad up and run
Yeah,
together.
that email never came through. I
Um,
was monitoring all weekend.
yeah, it certainly helps to be able to communicate, you know what I mean, stuff like that. I mean, we did win the match that we were in, but
Yes, we did.
barely. Like, it was close, which was fun. But the game is fun. Like, it's intense, and you feel immediately, like you immediately want vengeance if you lose, even if it's good. So it's kind of like playing, like, you know, again, a Ubisoft thing. It's kind of like playing Rainbow. Now Rainbow 6, whether we were playing Vegas 1 or 2 or playing, like, you know, the most recent Rainbow, is kind of like you play.
Right?
Even if you lose, you just like, man, they got me. Let's go back
Hey,
in.
run that back. Nah.
So the only issue that I really had with the alpha, I mean, for real, the gameplay seemed pretty good. It seemed relatively responsive. Like, I didn't really have issues in terms of it being an alpha. It seemed surprisingly pretty good. There's a couple little quirks here and there. Probably my biggest thing, and the thing I would want them to immediately fix, is the ability to rematch. So, like, if you lose a match, you can't just rematch. You can continue fighting, and they'll basically just load up another set of random enemies for you to fight. Whether you're doing a duel or you're doing a brawl or whatever, they just load up another random set for you. They don't let you go back and fight again against
I feel you. And kind of like I was just saying, like, nah, when you want to run that back, you want to go back against the people that just defeated you.
Yeah, and you know what? And part of the reason for that, I feel like, is because, you know, you're playing with different character types. They play differently. They work differently as far as how you have to defend and so forth. And so, like, if I'm playing against a particular character that bests me, I want to play against that character again because I want to learn how to fight against that character type with the character I have. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I like it because it's kind of like you can pick one, and as you play, you level that character up. You gain new weapons or new pieces of armor, new pieces of weaponry that you can kind of swap out and add and, you know, change things around and kind of up your character's attributes. You know, design, you know, your own little stuff for them to wear and stuff like that. Like, it's I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Like, I'm looking forward to trying to get back into it tonight before it's completely over.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that it is safe to say that this just being an alpha, it's on our radar when it comes out early next year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even where it stands now, it's a done deal. Like, for if, you know, it's definitely one of the things. Again, there wasn't a lot to do. You know, you kind of are gonna get stuck doing the same thing over and over again. But again, that's based on the alpha. I know that
it was enough to pull
actually
you
does
in.
have a story. But again, being able to get in with a couple of friends and play together, whether you play against other people or you play against bots, up difficulty, things like that, get in and communicate. It's just like playing Rainbow. You know what I mean? It's
you already said the key words. It's co-op. Get in with your friends and play against bots.
You already know
that's a done deal.
Yeah.
Put the money aside right now for when it comes out.
And I put it to you right now, it's crack. Like, we're on it. So
look, there you go. Yeah. It's crack at the end of the day.
It's crack. Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
It's drugs.
Cause y'all was having a ball.
Yeah. No doubt. We were, man, and I was kind of feeling for
y'all were
so I kept being like,
ball.
did you get the email yet? Because you got to get up in here with us.
Hey, we was trying to get you in.
Yeah.
I was trying. I ended up beating Tomb Raider, but no alpha.
Good.
Yeah.
I actually got to go back and play the Baba Yaga because I never did. So I'm going to probably go ahead and do that this week while I'm away.
That was cool. Yeah, the Baba Yaga was kind of dope.
Yeah, I mean, I did everything else.
Yeah.
But so, anything else y'all want to touch on? I think we should take a quick break.
Yeah.
Let's do that then. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 35, Snacking and Hanging. We've been discussing some games and some alphas and some gaming things. I want to touch on a couple other things in gaming, if you don't mind.
No.
Sure.
So we've talked before, guys, about just kind of the landscape of video games and how it's changing. There's a lot going on. Kind of like mid-cycle refreshes, giving new power to systems and things like that. But amongst that kind of thing, and digital becoming really kind of how stuff is, we've also had a lot of games that get pushed back like constantly. It just seems like the normal
Yeah.
thing. Like I feel like it's more rare for a game to actually get announced, eventually get
And
a
come
date,
out
and
on that
actually
date.
come out on that date
Come out on time.
than it is to just find out it's going to get pushed back. And so we've had some discussions about whether or not they just announce stuff way too early, things like that. Now, you all know how I feel. We've had discussions, and maybe we talked about it a little on the show too, but about my personal opinions of things like Sony's press conferences tend to be, while people seem to love them, it drives me crazy that people seem to eat up these games and stuff that they show that are maybe 4 or 5 years out. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna graduate college before this game comes out. You're gonna be out of high school. You're gonna have a 4-year-old child, whatever. Like
Hmm.
by the time you ever get to touch this game that you're so excited about right now, this game seems exciting right now. This game seems like it's a big deal right now, but you're not gonna get to touch it for another 4 or 5 years. And so to me, one of those games that Sony did that with at their last press conference was Death Stranding.
Yep.
I understand it's Kojima. There's all this stuff going on between him and Konami and whatever. He goes and he makes his deal with Sony to do an exclusive title for Sony. Again, I think that's a mistake, but it is what it is. I understand. They're both Japanese. That probably had a lot to do with how and why that happened. However, people went nuts. I mean nuts over a trailer that literally told them nothing. They have no idea what gameplay looks like, is like, seems like, will be like. Literally, it's naked Norman Reedus. Everybody go ape because it's Norman Reedus. Not that Norman Reedus makes
Yep.
games better. I don't know how that works.
I was one of those
Right?
people. I didn't say Megan, but I was one of those people.
I understand how people feel about
Oh, I
my
was
man
with
from
you.
Walking Dead. This is not Walking Dead.
When I saw my man for the Walking Dead, yes, I got
Right.
sized.
But I
Straight
also
up.
understand what he means to the whole Kojima, Guillermo del
Mm-hmm.
Toro, with the whole, with the game that doesn't exist anymore. Like, I get all that.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
People are excited. Cool. Kojima's still working with Norman Reedus. Beautiful. Got it. He's got these things coming out of him, and he's naked on the beach like a baby, and there's like dead whales all over the place, and then there's looks like things floating in the sky. People have no idea what's going on. Everybody's going ape. Truthfully,
Definitely left you with more questions than
yeah,
answers.
I could care less. I'm glad to hear that something is happening. I guess I'm glad that they took the time and money and put in the effort to make a CG trailer. But for what? I mean, what we get could have nothing to do with anything we saw. Nonetheless, we know that this game, at the time they did that, this game is technically not even really in development. Like, they hadn't even chosen an engine to create the game in. So, we know we're 3 to 5 years out before we ever see this game, okay? Meaning it's 2016. It'll be 2020. We'll be on new consoles likely by the time this comes out, which means this game probably will never hit the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. It'll probably be on PlayStation 5 and whatever
Xbox
else
2?
the next Xbox is. That's what, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like, there are people who probably ran out to buy a PlayStation 4 because of this trailer. And it's like, that's so dumb, right? Last Guardian
Agreed.
just got pushed back again. We've been waiting
Yep.
2 college terms for this game. You know what I'm saying? So, really, like, let's get
Don't
over
remind
it.
me,
It
Lord.
don't look good. It doesn't take advantage of the PS4 and what the PS4 can do and what it really looks like, all that. Like, it's a PS3 game. It is what it is. So, Kojima comes out, makes an announcement last week about some of the game details. They announced co-op. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I like co-op, right? You guys know that. We just
Mhm.
got finished talking about that.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, and there was more. I'm not even going to get into the details of it. Because for me, why are you doing that? Like, why are you even, like, for real, just go underground. Stop. Just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You can't.
yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, he
I
can.
said he can't
He
because
can.
he let the cat out of the bag.
He.
He should have shut up and kept it to himself.
I mean, I suppose at some point, right? You want people to stop tweeting you or Facebooking you and asking for stuff,
So he
threatening
had,
you
so
or whatever.
he had to figure out what was best for him, and apparently it was I'm gonna make a CG trailer and just put it out there. Now everybody wants information.
I mean, I feel like part of that was only done really because he wanted to have something to kind of throw in Konami's face. That's how I feel. Like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
y'all gonna shut me out, you gonna push me away, you gonna this, that, and the third. Um, I got something. I'm working on something. You're not stopping me. You know what I mean? Like, and I get that,
Mm-hmm.
and I do feel like that's the other reason why people were so excited. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Outside of Metal Gear, what do you know Kojima for having done?
Zone of Vendors.
I'm listening. What else
Okay,
you
you
got?
name one.
That's it.
They-
That's all I
that's
got.
it.
That's it.
I was about to
Zone
say
of
that.
Vendors, yeah. But I love both of them joints. So,
Which is cool.
but yeah, that's it.
But
Just
they're
them two.
still,
Yeah, it's just them two. Yeah,
yeah, they're niche.
two franchises. That's it.
Kind of, you know, I don't know why. I just feel like it's just a tease. It's too much of a tease. Like, really just kind of go back and relax for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that Sony, especially considering all the bad press that Sony's had in the last, like, 2 weeks or so, that doing something like this and kind of egging people on, I almost feel like this is one of those things where, like, hey, listen, we need something. Like, we get a lot of bad press right now. Can you just throw people something? You know what I mean? Like, just tell them something about the game so that, you know, the fact that we had to push this back, the fact that we're dealing with this thing with Bethesda and not having mods, the fact that, you know, the PS4 Pro, you know, thing didn't go over all that well, you know what I mean? Just, like, give them something. And I kind of feel like they just kind of threw them to the wolves, like, yeah, just tell them something so we have something and people remember that we have this exclusive thing that isn't happening forever. Is it too much, y'all?
I think he put himself in a very, I don't know if bad or interesting with the word I want to use, but in a very difficult spot.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like I said, by putting that trailer out, now everybody and their mother wants to know as much information as possible about it. And you're right, we're not going to see that game forever because he's already said, and I remember when he said it, you just quoted it, that the engine's not even done. Which means they don't even know how they're going to build this game yet, or what it's going to look like, or how it's going to move, anything.
Right.
This is surely going to be a next-gen game by the time we get it, unless he rushes it, which he's not going to do. He's not going to rush it. He's going to make sure it's right when it comes out, which I respect. But this thing is it's barely in development. But now that you put it out there to the public, now, you're right, it could have been a shot at, I'm pretty sure it was a Konami shot, too, as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good. I'm here. I'm surviving. Y'all not gonna stop me. True. But now we know about it.
Yeah,
and we know Norman Reedus is a part of it. So you gonna give us a lot of info on it now because you open up your mouth. You should have been quiet, stayed in the cut, and just. I'm working on stuff, and just let it know that I'm working on some stuff.
Yeah. I definitely think
And
it was
just
a
left
power.
it at that.
It was a power play. You know, to kind of say like, yeah, Konami, y'all didn't make me. You know what I mean? Like I made you. Like, you're still in business because of me. Like, y'all got Metal Gear and Pro Evolution Soccer. What else is cracking? You know what I mean? Oh, Pachinko. Cool. Go do Pachinko then. You know what I mean? Like, they got a Metal Gear Pachinko coming. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's possible that the only reason why they even did this Metal Gear Survive is because he dropped that trailer. Like, all they did was to do a CG trailer. Oh, you got a CG trailer, Kojima? We got a CG trailer, and it used to be your joint. You know what I mean? Like,
and let that joint be bad. Oh my God, Konami, flack y'all.
Oh, let that game be bad. It's gonna be. It'll be.
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean, they got properties. They could be working on Contra. What's up? Give me a Contra. Let me get some co-op. Let me run around with my folks.
It's been some time. Yeah.
We had that one joint.
I'm about to say for last gen. That was something Uprising. I think it was called.
Yeah, Corpse.
Hardcore. Yeah, it was
hardcore,
hard, but
hardcore
yeah,
Uprising.
That
was what it was called, and that joint was hard. But we played the trash out of it and beat that joint.
And yes, we did.
we banged on it. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's much. I think it's much, man.
It is.
But kind of on that same tip, on the thing that's going on with PlayStation, and again, we've talked PS4 full pro already. But the other night while we were playing For Honor, I kind of threw something at you guys, and I just want to kind of reiterate that here on the show. That like I'm really thinking about this. You guys know that like we had talked, and I was saying how like I'm kind of in the market for a PlayStation 4 Pro. Like I want to get a
Mm-hmm.
4K TV, and I wasn't planning on getting a PlayStation 4 because I wanted to wait to see what the 4K was or the Neo was gonna be, when it dropped. But I ended up with a PlayStation 4 because I got one for $100. So
Right.
I have one now. They're doing deals. You can get 125 if you trade it in towards a new system or whatever. Like I was planning on getting one anyway. If I was gonna drop 400 regardless, I might as well do it on the new system. Blah blah blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think about it and I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do 4K in a TV, I want a 4K Blu-ray player. So the 1S makes more sense. It's $100 cheaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has HDMI pass-through, meaning I could literally hook up my now HDR enabled PlayStation 4 because they made all the old PlayStation 4s HDR capable. I can hook that up to an Xbox One S, which up converts to 4K, and let it up convert using and have HDR because it has HDR built into it too, right through the Xbox. Just run that to my Xbox instead of the TV signal to my Xbox, which I don't watch a lot of TV. Just hook the PlayStation 4 up to the Xbox One S and let that joint up convert to 4K. Why would I spend the money on a Pro?
Nobody's thinking about that but you.
You know what I mean?
But it's a good thought though. That is a good thought.
It is.
When he told me that, I honestly, just thinking outside of the box, I really didn't think about that. Because, other than for me, if I was getting the PS4 Pro, it would just be the fact of getting the PS4 Pro. Like, I got a perfectly good working PS4 that now can do the HDR.
Right.
Why not
And
hook it into an Xbox One and
you're-
do it from there?
You're only going to get mostly up converted 4K. You're not going to get, don't get me wrong. The PS4 Pro does have a faster GPU, you know what I mean, and CPU. They overclocked it. So you are going to get like higher res, like textures and things like that out of it. But most games that are going to run on it, the system is not technically powerful enough under most circumstances with most games to actually do full 4K. You know what I mean? You're going to be looking at like 1440p by like 900, maybe up-resed, or like 1890p or something like that, up-res to 4K. But you're not necessarily going to get full 4K. Now, there are some titles like Elder Scrolls Online said they had no issues getting it to run in full 4K. But again, they don't use like heavy textures and stuff like that in that. It is an all-online game. It's not as heavy graphically as, like the stuff that like a Naughty Dog does or something like that. Or that like a Days Gone or Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be. And that's a game that really was made for the PC community, that is designed from the ground up to kind of deal with people that have different settings running, right? Like your PC may not be exactly the same as my PC. Even if we have all the exact same components in our PCs, that doesn't mean our settings are all the same. You know what I mean? Like
right.
This is a developer and a game that was developed from the ground up, really to work on PCs, not necessarily on consoles. It's just been optimized to run on consoles. You know what I mean? So they didn't have any issues with it, but it doesn't have to do as much. So most of what you get, most of what you play, isn't going to be in true 4K anyway. So, excuse me, if I can run The Last of Us Remastered, which I just started today for the first time, phenomenal so far, in HDR,
I'm like halfway through it,
through my Xbox One S, up converted to 4K with HDR to a 4K TV, why wouldn't I just do that? Until they really give me a great reason to put the money into getting a PS4 Pro. Especially knowing, like I already know that even though I'm going to get a 1S, I'm going to get whatever Scorpio is because of how powerful they're talking about it being. I already know I'm doing that. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't I just bank that money and put it towards that? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I completely forgot about that pass through until you brought it up this weekend.
Right.
Like when I first got mine, I hooked stuff up to it. Oh, I can play my Wii U through my Xbox. Sweet.
Right.
Stuff like that.
It was
I
cute.
completely forgot it was there. Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean,
But
the thing is, I do use it because I do run TV through my Xbox. So I constantly use it to change channels when I do watch TV and stuff like that. Like when I
hey,
turn
look,
my Xbox on, it goes
it's great
straight to
for that
TV.
stuff.
You know what I mean?
I've
So
learned
like,
it's great for that stuff
yeah,
when I'm over there.
I'm
Like
also a Connect dude, so okay. But
mm,
yeah, so I use the pass through consistently.
I would say just make sure it works first before
Um,
jumping out there. Make sure that it actually is transmitting like it should to up convert from the PS4 through the Xbox One
I
or
tell
the
you
One
what,
S
I tell
to
you
the
what,
TV. Mm-hmm.
go to YouTube right now and do a search for PlayStation 4 up converted to 4K using Xbox One S. Guarantee you'll find video.
If
Guarantee,
not,
like,
Google it too. It'll probably pop up
like,
one there too.
like, put your money on it. Guarantee you'll find it. Guarantee. I'm about to. I should probably have done this.
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I guarantee you'll find it. Matter of fact, I'm looking at it right now. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, upscaled to 4K via Xbox One S on YouTube. Straight up. Like, it's there. Definitely there. I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's what's making the most sense to me right now. That's what's making the most sense to me right now.
All right, I gotta look at these videos. I see a bunch of videos. Some saying you can, some saying it's a lie, some saying other random stuff that nobody cares about.
Nah.
But okay, it's out there. It's out there. People are trying it and doing it. So it's just all about doing the research now to make sure it's gonna work if you're gonna do it that way.
Yep. I mean,
So okay, I'm down. I'm down to do the research and find out because if it does, then yes, I'm taking my PS4. Well, I don't have a TV, 4K TV, so it doesn't matter right now.
yep.
I don't have HDR on my television, so I couldn't take advantage of it anyway. But to know that I could, that's what G.I. Joe taught me. Knowing is half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, buddy.
So that's cool.
I think that's the jam. I mean,
Nah,
First things first and all that, I still need to get a 4K TV.
Yep.
Same here. Yeah.
Well, again, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, why wouldn't you save that money and just do that? So,
I figure I'll have one by end of next year, so by the time Scorpio drops. But it'll probably be one for upstairs and not the main one downstairs because I got to get rid of that one upstairs. That TV is horrible.
yeah, I feel you.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, look, at this point, I've been doing my research. I'm looking at some stuff.
Mhm.
I'm actually looking at some models from last year that are at good prices that have great pictures. Like, I've been on CNET and all that kind of stuff. That, like Vizio's got. I don't normally do Vizios, but Vizio's got some really good TVs that are reviewing really, really well. And the thing about Vizios is the Vizios actually have both versions of HDR. You gotta remember, it's two versions of HDR. There's Dolby Digital, and then there's the HDR10. And it looks like HDR10 might win, but if it doesn't win and you get the one that has the wrong thing, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One S both do HDR10. So you need a TV that does HDR10 if you want to get HDR from them.
You know, it's funny. You appreciate this, B. I just talked to my father about getting a new TV. And I just talked to my father about getting a new TV. And he's, I want to get new Vizio. I'm like, Pop, go look at the Samsung. They got they got the best pictures. What you know about? But what do you know about Vizios? I know they're not as good as Samsungs. That's why I got Samsungs in my, stuff like that. And then when you say that, I'm like, God, just don't make J Dub right. Just don't.
I mean, look, listen.
Just don't do that.
A lot has changed.
I don't need that right now.
Samsung has it. I mean, they still got great stuff, but I mean, they say the best picture you can get right now is the LG OLED, but I I mean, those
And
joints
you know
are
what? And
the
that's what I told him. I said
Yeah,
after
they
Samsung
dumps.
is LG's as
yeah, but
far
them
as
them,
like
L, them
preference.
Yep.
Right.
LG OLEDs are astronomically priced. You know what I mean? So like,
Right. Right.
I don't necessarily need that. Do I want it? Sure. I don't need that. You know what I mean?
Real talk.
So, I'm right now again. Visios are kind of cranking price wise and ability wise.
Okay.
That's the other thing. Like you might spend more money on a TV even if you feel like the TV has a better picture, but does it have all the capabilities that you can get out of it in order to be able to do it? Now, could be that whatever you get, maybe eventually they will do a firmware update. The Visios basically had a firmware update done to their TVs from last year. So their M series from last year got an update like in August that
Mm-hmm.
allowed them to do both versions of HDR. Where and their new series, the P series from 2016, they already do it, but of course they're more expensive. So now like you can find open box M series, you can find them on Amazon, decent
Mm-hmm.
sizes, decent prices, and capable of doing everything. Now that doesn't necessarily mean like you're still probably gonna have to do that update when you get it because it's probably not gonna
Right.
have that out of the box. You know what I mean? You still gotta do that update, but if you can do an update for an older TV that's gonna give you the capabilities you're looking for, then you might as well. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
and at this point, I'd rather be. I put it to you this way: I still don't know what we're gonna be talking about price wise when it comes to the Scorpio, but I know it's coming next year. Even though
Hmm.
I know those TVs are gonna come down, I don't want to wait till next year and have to bite the bullet on the TV and
And
on
the
And the
and on the
Scorpio.
and on whatever the
Right.
Yeah.
Scorpio is. I don't want to have to do that, and I already know I'm getting a Scorpio. So it's kind of like I'd rather just bite the bullet now and get that out of the way.
Let's start preparing for that whole
Yeah,
issue right now.
yeah. Like
Got you.
we'll see what happens, man. I got a birthday coming up. I don't know if anybody loves me enough to get me a
That you
4K
do. That you
TV,
do.
but
Wow. Wow.
should there be anybody out there listening who loves me enough to
I can
present
put
me
5 on
with a
it.
4K TV, even if it's smaller than the TV I have, I'd take it for the upscaled
What, like a
resolution.
12, with a 13 inch? They're gonna.
I mean, my computer's like a 17 inch. Can we at least be? Can we?
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair
Can
enough.
we?
Fair enough.
Can we at least go there? I mean, really. Yeah. I just kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. I think that's a decent idea. We might be able to make work. Spread the word, sir.
Yes,
It
sir.
might be
Yes, sir.
gospel.
Spread the word.
Yeah. One last thing, gentlemen, before we lock this out, shut this down. I just want to take a moment again to thank everybody who took the time to participate and purchase a shirt from our loading snacks versus campaign. This is kind of a new thing for us, where loading snacks versus is the loading snacks crew, our team, trying to do some good through the community. For the community, we're putting out these shirts. We did a set that was loading snacks versus leukemia. They're orange shirts. September happens to be Blood Cancer Awareness Month. It also happens to be Child Cancer Awareness Month, and leukemia does tend to strike children.
Hmm.
And leukemia specifically, the color for it is orange. The ribbon for it is orange, which is what color the shirts are, and the ribbons are on the shirt. So I want to thank those who did support us. A lot of people were out wearing their shirts today and taking pictures and posting to Facebook and so forth. So I just want to thank people for doing that because it did allow us to give the proceeds to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. We are still doing work like this. It has encouraged us to continue to do things like this. So as we speak, there is a new campaign up. It is Loading Snacks versus Breast Cancer. Next month, October, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They will not always be cancer oriented. There's certainly other diseases and other things that deserve us kind of fighting the good fight and trying to put money into funding the efforts to do research and things of that nature. So look for us to do Loading Snacks Say versus diabetes and Loading Snacks versus autism, which is also something that's kind of near and dear to me. So I again, I'm just really thankful and humbled by those who did participate. The shirts we run at $20. In the future we may do some different variations and things like that as weather changes. We're looking at things like doing, hoodies or sweatshirts or long sleeve shirts and things like that. Right now we're just doing regular t-shirts, but they're available in youth sizes as well as in large adult sizes. I think up through 4X, might be 3X. Don't completely quote me on that, but Certainly, if you go to booster.com and you search for, loading snacks versus breast cancer, or if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see it pinned right at the top. You can click there, and it will take you directly to our booster page so that you can help us support this very, very worthy cause. And we'll do the same thing we did this month. We'll put together a date for kind of everybody to wear their shirts. So just feel free to wear them throughout, the month of October. Once you have them, we'll probably have the shirts about 2 weeks in. But again, we want to keep doing stuff like this and kind of giving back to the community. I'm looking forward to doing something with Extra Life this year. We've been talking about it, but we haven't managed to do it the past couple of years. So definitely want to do that and just kind of stay involved in the community and what's happening. So thank you again.
Like before you sign off.
Yeah.
I just saw something that just freaked me out a little bit.
Okay.
Looking up, I deal with migraines. You know what I mean? Like, I've had that as far as I can remember.
Right.
Migraine Awareness Month is in June.
I didn't know that. When your birthday is?
Yes. And you know what the color is?
What is it? Purple.
Purple.
My man. I mean, all right.
That is scary.
It is scary. Let's lock it in.
That
you guys would be
that
real.
just sent chills down my spine. Dang.
You'd be real surprised what it can mean if you suffer from migraines on a regular basis and what could be happening to you and things like that. It is something that should be and could be put in check. So let's just, stay on top of that. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's something we'll have to do. Going into May, we'll put something together. But, yeah, again, just thank you so much for your support and your continued support. I also want to thank you, man. Instagram is at 8,000 followers.
Woo!
So I want to thank you. That's growing steadily and quickly. It's getting harder to keep up with, but I love kind of getting comments and kind of getting some back and forth with people there. I appreciate the same thing. We're growing really, really fast on our Facebook page too. We jumped, I don't know. I think we're over 400 now there. Like, it's continuing to grow. Same thing's happening with our YouTube channel. We're gonna keep doing work, putting out good work, giving you things to look at. Please make suggestions. We're definitely open to criticisms as well as suggestions. We may not always respond right away, but again, we're really busy and we have a really small team. But we definitely appreciate you taking the time. Don't ever think that because we don't get back to you right away that what you think or what you had to say isn't important. Just know that it's tough sometimes for us to do that, but we'll definitely work on getting better at that. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring the show to a close. So as always, I'm going to give the gentleman here the opportunity to let you all know where you can find them so you can continue to follow and see what kind of mischief we're up to. Sin, as his name suggests, is always up to something. So please tell the people where they can see what kind of mischief you're into, sir.
If you want to email me at sin.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. You can find me at Xbox Live. You can find me at Twitter, Instagram, at Sincere619, Snapchat, and the PlayStation Network. Same thing. Just replace that I with the L, and you will find me there.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been kind of paying attention to what's happening with the YouTube, go follow Sin on Instagram. He always posts there what he's working on next for his 52 and 52 update, where he tries to watch 52 animes in 52 weeks.
Yes, and this is the hardest 52. Time of the year, I've realized, because we're in the holiday season, which means as a gamer, everything I've been waiting for all year is now coming out.
Right.
So I need to start putting in that work because I want to play these games, but I made a commitment to Loading Snacks and to the public to watch these 52 animes in 52 weeks, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah. If he don't watch all 52, man, he get a pie in the face.
Whoa. That was never decided from the beginning.
Well, that's
what are you talking about?
How does that come into play in September?
Is that news to you?
Oh, that's news to me.
I mean, everybody else, I'm pretty sure knows.
Okay, one, all y'all are liars. And what I really want to call all y'all, I can't say right now, but I'll save that for when we get off.
I mean, I recall us all being in a room together at one point and telling Kay that he said something he said he didn't say, and he's saying we was all liars. However, I digress. We'll deal with that later. New Joker,
Yes, we will.
tell the people where they can find all about your adventures and such.
Yep. So if you want to get at me at my email, you can shoot me newjoker.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. If you want to game with me, or if you want to get me on Instagram and Twitter, it's newjoker89, and on Facebook, New Joker's Adventures.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Gage, but you won't find me as that on anything on social media. So I'm Empty Shells, MTSHELLZ, Twitter, Instagram, and on Xbox Live, but you got to put spaces between the first letters, M space T space SHELLZ, on PlayStation as well as on Xbox Live. Make sure you do us a favor and follow us at Loading Snacks. Again, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're all over the place. Shoot over to YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe, please. Leave us a message and or a comment. And if you're listening to this and you liked what you heard, do us a favor and drop us a comment. Leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you happen to be listening to the podcast. We greatly appreciate that. And one last thing before we go, we did shoot over to the Annapolis Comic-Con today. I want to thank Joe, who works really hard at Annapolis Comic-Con, for putting us on to it when we were at Baltimore, so we'd have a chance to go do it. I kind of like the smaller scale Comic-Con, a little less hustle and bustle, a little more intimate, stuff like
Pretty
that.
cool.
We met some really cool people, Viva Valentina, a lot of Harley Quinns there.
A lot.
Shout out to Harry Crosland of Pop Culture Uncovered. He was there. Brooklyn Raga, cosplayer, was there. Eric Suggs, Artway Alliance, was there. Dennis Johnson, Osiris on Instagram. So a lot of good folks there, a lot of good artwork. Third Eye, of course, was in the house, as usual when it comes to this local stuff with the cons and so forth. So we had a good time. It was a good showing. We appreciate it. There's a Southern Maryland one coming. I don't know if we're gonna make that. It's in November. It's probably gonna be cold. But
Well, if there's not any snow really, I may take that. I may take that trip.
Might be worth it having made the trip to this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, this has been Snacking and Hanging, episode 35. We are the Loading Snacks crew. We are out. Toodles and lose.